Alright, and welcome back. As you can see, still working on the rudder. I've gone through and tried to edit through as much wasted time in these videos as I can going forward. If there's a lot of just standing around reading the instructions or staring at my phone or whatnot, I've gone through and tried to clip the majority of that out. So occasionally through this video you'll see me jump from here to there, and that's just me trying to save everybody's sanity and get rid of wasted video. So anyway, as always, again, for those that continue to watch these videos, I appreciate it. I'm in the process of putting the spar together for the rudder. In this video, it's going to be going through mostly doing some of the final prep work on these pieces, doing some final match drilling and assemblage, and then priming the pieces, and should start putting the pieces together for their final time here in the next video or two. This area I'm working on right now is around the rudder horn. As I explained before, that's where the cables for the foot pedal actuators will attach to the rudder itself, and it's a little tricky. It's the bottom spar that you see sticking up. It attaches to the the bottom rib. It attaches to the spar, and then right below that is a spacer that you have to position just right to match with the holes, and then the rudder horn sits over both of those pieces. And so once you kind of hold all three of those together and then put the doubler on the back side, then you cleco everything. So you kind of have to hold the four pieces together while you're trying to get the cleco in. So it can be a little challenging at first, but that's what I was doing there. Got the final drilling and all that done, just to make sure it matched up. And then now I'm going through with acetone and cleaning off the parts to get them ready for priming. And I overdo it with the gloves, not needed, but anytime I mess around with chemicals, I like to put the gloves on, especially if it's something that may or may not be detrimental to your skin and whatnot. So anyway, just going through, cleaning off all the pieces, get them ready to put primer on all the pieces here. And the primer, as I'd mentioned before, is a self-etching spray-on primer. I believe I got it through Aircraft Spruce, I think is the website. It's I bought 5 cans. They aren't terribly expensive. I've gone through 1 can already, and probably about a quarter of the way through a second can, and all I've done so far is the skeleton for both the vertical stabilizer and now the rudder. So I have a feeling I'll have to buy some more cans, especially when I get to the wings. Like I said, I will be painting, putting primer on all of the ribs for the wings, as well as the portions of the skin where it contacts the ribs. So I'm sure I'll need a few more cans before I'm said and done. So going forward, I've now purchased another camera that's identical to this one, is taking this shot. I'm going to permanently mount it probably to the garage door, just to get a more close-up angle and to get a second shot. I've tried the GoPro, and while it's good to shoot video, it just doesn't last very long. I even bought an extended battery for it, and it just doesn't last long, and so I'm constantly having to look and make sure it's still recording and whatnot. Whereas this camera, it's a action camera also, but it's got a continuous record setting, and it records 15-minute blocks, and then there'll be about a 3 or 4 second break before it starts recording the next 15-minute block. And it seems to be working well for me. I was suggested this camera by another builder who is also making a video blog, and it seems to work really well. So I'll be setting that up, like I said, probably on the other side of the garage there, close to the dimple, the C dimpler there. just to get, like I said, a closer shot and a shot from the other side, another angle, and be able to switch between the two when I'm working on something that, you know, would be better as a close-up shot. So here's another instance where I clipped out a lot. I spent a lot of time looking up the next step and doing a lot of research on how to do the trailing edge exactly. The trailing edge is, as I just explained before, is a wedge that you have to drill and then you have to countersink, but because it's at an angle, you take a piece of the same angle, the wedge, and basically flip it around and you make it so that the surfaces are now parallel to each other. There was another instance where I left for like a half hour to go to the store, so didn't figure that anyone was interested in watching my garage for a half hour. So anyway, so yeah, the wedge you put together, you get it so it's flat and perpendicular to the drill bit. Drill out and countersink all the holes, and then you apply a double-sided tape to the wedge and put it in. So I was trying to figure out and look up exactly how you do the double flush mounting or riveting for the trailing edge. And essentially you do a back rivet style rivet, and then you just drive the rivet in so it's flush on the other side, and so the rivet head will be normal look where it sits completely flush, but the I think it's called the machine head, the side that you rivet will just look like kind of an acorn, for lack of better description. So it won't look, you know, you're not going to drive it to try to make it look exactly like the rivet head itself. You just rivet it until it's flush, and try your best not to twist the trailing edge. That's the important part. One thing I'm going to get is a piece of angle aluminum and drill holes through it that match with the holes that are in the trailing edge, so that way I can cleco everything to that piece and maintain the trailing edge in a straight fashion, try to minimize the warp. As I explained before, the instructions point out that this is probably one of the most frequently messed up steps, and that you can the clearance or the amount that you can be off in the wave of the trailing edge is a millimeter or two. So it's very important to try to get it lined up correctly and make your best effort to keep everything straight. So now everything has been primered. I'm fitting everything together, getting ready to put some rivets on the bottom rib there, and then the next couple steps, it has you attach everything to the spar. And then once you get that, like I said, you start working on the stiffeners and whatnot. So that should be coming up in the next video or two. I'm going to try to jump ahead a little bit and not necessarily put every minute of what I'm doing into these videos. Unfortunately, a lot of it ends up being just a lot of video of doing a step or two. So I'm trying to minimize the boredom factor, I guess. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and let this video run out here and start working on the next video. And again, for those that continue to watch these videos, I do appreciate it. And if you have any comments or questions, leave them below. I look forward to it. Thanks.